Hi everyone, Chris here from EsperLuxe, coming to you from rainy Geneva right here in Old Town. We're going to be seeing some amazing watches, talking about GPHG and Only Watch and what is slowly becoming the unofficial watch collector week in Geneva. So let's visit some friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hey guys, Chris here from EsperLuxe, and we are visiting Urwerk at their new spot in Old Town in Geneva. We're lucky to have with us today Yacine Sar, the head of communications from Urwerk. We are going to look at some really awesome pieces, and let's talk a little bit about what's happening this week. But first, I'm going to jump right into it. The 112, which is, I'm not even going to waste time and sugarcoat things. Mind-blowing watch. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about it from the Urwerk perspective. I guess we've heard it from Martin, from Felix. This is an incredible piece, Yacine.
Yes, that's right. Welcome, in fact, in our headquarters.
Thank you.
So last week we've unveiled the 112, which is part of the special project of Urwerk. So as you know, we have different families. We have a satellite collection, we have the chronometrical one, and we have the special project when we are just free to do whatever we want. And this is kind of a really crazy, one of the craziest maybe watch we've ever produced. So its name is Aggregat, because we have kind of different machines working together. So with just one source of power, which is in fact the main movement, we achieve to make work all the digital functions. So we have a jumping hour, a running minute, a digital second on the top of it, and also you have the power reserve.
And I remember when I was here a couple weeks back, yes, you got to show me this, this movement and the animation of it, being exposed and outside of the body, I guess. So here you can see how the carousel on the minutes carousel is going to charge up and then jump on
the 60
minute, right? That's
right.
Super cool.
Yeah. And I really like it because when you see the watch, okay, it's impressive, but we tried really to have something quite luxurious, simple in its design, sophisticated. And then, in fact, you see what's underneath, and all of a sudden you say, oh, wow, okay, there's kind of a monster.
Yeah.
Just underneath.
Yeah, because closed, it's so sleek,
yes,
it's so it's right, like it, and you could see sort of the the streamlining elements that you had in the 105, right? With the hood, with that hunter, the Urwerk's take on a hunter style, hood, and then when you open it, you see all of the incredible pieces that you guys have incorporated from various different models, like the 105. Martin was talking about incorporating some elements from the 111 as well. So just a really brilliant achievement by Urwerk.
Thank you. No, we are quite proud of it, I have to say. And so it's going to be really a limited edition. So because, well, it's so complex, in fact, to do that. We really, in fact, want to focus in the few first, in fact, to come out. What I really like about it, for the first time, we have the digital second, but made out of silicium, which is really just a little detail.
So that's the seconds indicator right in here.
Right.
So I'm going to just pop this open. What's this? I love this feature on the crown too, by the way. So you just pop that open and on its own it just starts. Yeah, it's super awesome.
Yes, that's right. You've got, these little details here and there. That really makes it exceptional. So the case is made out of titanium, so you can see it's really
very light.
Light, exactly.
Very light, extremely comfortable to wear. I saw the curvature on the case back, sort of like that the curves on the 220 case back, but also the 11C case back as well. And I think this is only the second piece that Urwerk has done in full titanium, right? From what I recall.
Exactly.
Yeah, very awesome. Cool. Well, that's exciting. Earlier,
You have to have it on your wrist.
yeah, I gotta put that on my wrist, and then we'll talk about the UR-100 Electrum right after that.
Perfect.
So
What I like is really the comfort that you have when you want to read time, because all the indications are really kind of obvious.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's so comfortable to wear.
Yes.
You know, one of the things today that we talk about in contemporary watchmaking is, okay, yeah, it's great that you can make all these complications, right? But can you make it wearable? You know,
True.
that's becoming the next challenge that a lot of brands are, at least in contemporary watchmaking world, are trying to overcome, is making all of these complications, but putting it in an incredibly comfortable and wearable, ergonomic style case. And so the design now starts to become a big part of the conversation.
Exactly.
Because
we didn't want to, in fact, to make it, just like a sandwich with complication on top, one of the other. It's really, really complex, but we wanted to first, in fact, it has to be a charm. You have to be appealed by the watch, and I think that the 112 does this perfectly.
Yeah, brilliant.
You have
on this, and this is the signature Baltimora Kevlar strap that Urwerk makes. Outstanding. Retail is, I think, $278 USD.
Exactly.
And limited to 25 pieces in this sort of two-tone that we can, with the black and gunmetal. Outstanding. So right before the 112, we had another edition of the UR-100, which is fast becoming one of the flagship models of Urwerk.
Yes,
I think definitely creating a bridge line for Urwerk to get more people, more awareness on the brand. And I think when they released this watch 2 years ago, from what I remember, it was the iron version and the black version. It was such a great way of doing a round watch in an Urwerk fashion.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
This is really what this is, right? Exactly. So tell us a little bit about the 100 Electrum.
The Electrum is a bit special. In fact, the material, as you can see, is shiny, it's a bit pale. It's not the normal gold that you can find on other watches. And it was inspired by Martin because he was reading a lot about antiquities and the Egyptian and Romans. And in fact, at that time, they valued an alloy that was found naturally in the soil, and it was called electrum. So it was a mix between gold and silver, and it has, in fact, this pale luminescence, I would say. Mm-hmm. And we try to make it again, and we made some tests. And the mix between gold and the palladium.
Palladium.
Yes, that's right. This is where, in fact, we find just the right color.
Outstanding.
And yes, right. And we had to test so many before finding this one. And it's really cool because all the story about the 100 is about the Earth running around the sun. And the effect of the gold, this golden effect, just like you have the impression to be facing the sun. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, with the I believe this is called the Vinfinger rotor in the back, which is Urwerk's own take on an automatic caliber. With another sort of rotor that's winding on its own axis. Again, talking about all the themes of revolving around the axis and revolving around the sun. An outstanding execution, and this is sold out from what I understand.
Yes, that's right.
Sold out.
But Felix is always saying that with the 100, we for once achieved to make a watch that looks like a watch.
A watch that looks like a watch, yeah. Which is hard for Urwerk to do, right?
Yes, that's right. Really.
That's always been the challenge. Is how do we get people to think outside of the box? When I guess from my perspective, because I love the brand, right? I have a very soft spot for the brand. I think you have to truly understand the philosophy of Urwerk and the mindset of Felix and Martin and what they're doing. in order to perhaps start to think outside the box and put a watch on your wrist that doesn't look like a watch, because we're so programmed to wear a normal looking round watch, right? And
Exactly.
so when we disturb that, people finally start to get used to it, they kind of go off the deep end, right? And that's what I've noticed is this watch has sort of opened the door to the rabbit hole, and then people just kind of if you jump in there, and you just start exploring everything that is so incredibly cool about what Urwerk does. Like the 112, like the 220, the 202, and the original 103. So very cool stuff. That's at least from my perspective.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, we take the nice word. Because also, Felix is a watchmaker, and one point for him, which is capital, is that you have to be able to read time easily on his watch.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what he achieved, in fact, with this different way to tell time.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single, even though people might not know initially what they're looking at if they've never seen an Urwerk, once you tell them how to read the time on it,
that's right.
The issue of legibility has never been a thing, right? Like all the time, the hours and minutes always been there.
Exactly,
yeah.
That's right.
That's
no,
true.
it's just, in fact, as you said, it's just a mind change. Once you've set your mind, in fact, to this new kind of indication, then you've got it.
Yeah.
You're part of the family, and
Yacine, next year is going to be 25 years for Urwerk.
yes, exactly.
And I want to, I don't really want to talk about what's going to come next year because, who knows, you guys will probably blow us with some awesome surprises. But I do want to talk about sort of the beginning of Urwerk, and which is kind of coinciding with what's coming out now at the auctions, especially this week with, the only watch auction that's coming out, as well as, Philips and I think Quorum.
That's right.
And one of the pieces that is actually maybe at two auctions is the 101.
Yes.
The original 101. I'm just gonna. I hope I can take this off of here. Maybe you can do the honors and take it off this. Yeah, I would have completely messed that up.
No. So this one, exactly, this is the very, very first Urwerk ever created by Felix and Martin. And you can see that they are really, really consistent in the way they are creating watches, because it was already a satellite moving from east to west, just like for a sunset. So it was just beginning, just
Wild.
the opening. On top it's 30, and after it will disappear.
It's wild. This is the origination of that.
Exactly.
The way that time is represented by Urwerk, except then it evolved with the satellite wandering hours, right? And then with the retrograde hour with the 220.
Exactly. So it was 2D on this very first one, and then in fact we came for the third dimension of the watches.
Added depth and layers to it.
Exactly.
When did the 101 come out originally?
It was 1997.
Wow. Okay.
During Battle World.
Holy smokes.
And in fact, Felix and Martin were exhibiting at the HC, the Academy of the Independent Watchmakers. And when they came with that, people were just couldn't understand what was going on, because at the time it was more all the big complication. You had to have the tourbillon and maybe a calendar with the retrograde, and it was really just like a competition to have the most complex watch. And they came with something just at the opposite, to have the most simplest and pure way to indicate time, with just one pointer indicate time, and that's it.
In true Urwerk fashion, very, very counterculture, right?
Exactly.
At the 90s were such an arms race of complications among brands, that to come up with something so simple and so different was,
Yes,
I guess
right.
it makes sense now knowing, what Felix and Martin have done over the last, 25 years. It's never been like any other brand. Yeah.
But then it was quite a step, because when they arrived on the Battle HC booth, they had nothing, in fact, to present the watch. So they had bought two, you know, where you cook when you do camping.
Yeah.
This kind of gas.
Yeah, like a stovetop.
Exactly, that's right. And they put the watch on them, saying that something was cooking, something hot was coming. And the other guys were just looking at them.
These guys are out of their minds. Yeah, these guys out of their minds. Yeah.
Exactly.
We still look at them and say, hey, these guys are out of their minds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so the very first one, in fact, they were made by hand. So Felix was in charge, of course, of the mechanism. His brother, in fact, was working on it, and he is the one who made the case.
The case.
By hand. And of course, in fact, the design was by Martin Frey.
And I think it's #1 that's coming up at auction at Philips.
Exactly, that's right. This is the very first prototype that we presented during this Basel World exhibition.
Oh, interesting.
That's right. And the one
the only watch piece
exactly.
is coming out that has sort of a I guess you call it an homage to the 101.
Exactly. Because it's a prototype. In fact, this is the one we were keeping here, in fact, for the for the archive and so on. So it was in the safe, and we were honored last year to receive the Gaia Prize, which is kind of the Nobel Prize for watchmaking, and it was such an honor that we wanted, in fact, to make the liaison between both. The beginning, when nobody, in fact. Nobody was believing in Urwerk, and we were just looked at as outsiders, and I don't know.
the lunatics of the watch industry, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And almost 25 years later, you get awards and prizes, and
It's hard to believe. I was 9 years old. It's hard to believe that, and especially when you look today at some of the 103s, right? I mean, the design has aged so gracefully over the years. I mean, I have a personal 103 in white gold,
yes.
and you look at it and you're like, this is a 20-year-old watch. Like, wow. Like if they came out with it today,
yes.
it would be so relevant today.
Yes, definitely.
And so it's a testament to design. It's a testament to vision. In my opinion, I can wax poetic about Urwerk all day, but
it's true.
I'll stop and not make a fool of myself.
No, but it's true. What I like is it's difficult, in fact, to use the word classic for Urwerk, but the 103 definitely is a classic in our collection.
Oh, of course,
I think definitely the emblematic collection.
Awesome. What can we look forward to seeing next? Anything you can talk about, or maybe little hints here and there that could, if not, it's okay. But if
you'll be surprised.
Okay. All right. Which is not saying a lot because we're always surprised. So all right. Well, thank you, Yacine. Really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure to visit you guys here in Geneva. Looking forward to this weekend, the festivities from the auctions.
Yes, that's right.
And to what's coming next.
Yes.
So, all right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Stay tuned and for the next segment, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit us up if you have any questions or comments. Do so right below. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.